Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pitch Please. We're back for another week of exciting football talk, and we even have a quiz today. Welcome
Ooh.
back, and sorry for the week off. I was on holiday, and Aman has no friends, so we couldn't do that. Sorry, mate. So we couldn't do an episode last week, but we will make up for it in our segments this week. Aman, how are you doing today?
I am good, not as good as you in Malta, but I do have some friends. I actually went with one of them and did my part supporting women's football. I actually went and watched the Women's Super League opener. When it was City versus Chelsea. It was a pretty good game actually. And the best part, James, I didn't tell you
Mhm.
this, but it was the first time that they trialed drinking at your seats. So
Oh,
I was watching the game with a beer in hand. And how often does that happen at a football game?
that's
It
that's been
was
banned for a while.
yeah, right. Exactly. I think they're trialing maybe bringing it back. So yeah, I was actually super nice. They did scam me on my second cider though because we just said cider and not Aspal. They gave us a not very great Kronenberg, but overall really good experience, really good game. Didn't get to see a lot of Chelsea's women stars, Chloe Kelly, Sam Kerr, the ex-United player Lauren James. I was hoping to catch them live in action, but unfortunately, I don't think they were fit enough to play the first game of the season. But a great experience.
Nice. And just want to point out it was at the lovely home of Stamford Bridge. So I'm very happy that you were able to go see the best stadium in the world. Was by any chance Millie Bright playing? I absolutely love Millie Bright. I think she's a quality
Um,
defender.
is she a right back?
No, she's centre back.
Is she
And
number 4? Because she looked really good. The
yes, I think she wears number 4. Yeah.
the number 4 looked really good, but your player by far was your right back. That number 2, the name escapes me. She was brilliant, absolutely. She would do a job and Amber as a wing back for Amber for sure.
Was Hannah Hampton playing? The star of the women's team, the England team. Do you
Do you
know?
know what? I would love to tell you that, but I was dipping my toe into the women's game, so I'm yet
That's
to
fair. That's
familiarize
fair.
myself with the landscape.
That's all right. You just need to get that ball knowledge on the women's
hmm
teams, and
The
we
vibes were top though, top
yeah.
vibes.
I've been to a couple, and yeah, the vibes are amazing.
hmm
Um, but yeah, shout out to the women's game. But yeah, back to our regular scheduled program.
hmm
We'll be going through our man versus machine segment where we face the AI. Um, we had, unfortunately, another stinker of a week.
No.
I hate to, yeah, I hate to say it, but the AI scored 58 points, and the average was 48 this week. Not our best. Not our best.
Mate, this cannot go on. This was actually horrible. We're like the mid 30s, consistently under the game week average. I still don't understand it. I think our team looks really good. But the AI team just keeps outperforming us, man. And the craziest thing is they had Goodmanson on the bench
Yeah,
who got 9 points. So
yeah,
they could have easily ended up like well into the 60s. So
yeah.
sad.
It was a bit of a crazy one. A lot of their higher scorers were West Ham as well, which we'll
Oh
get
my
into.
God.
Diouf pick at centre back
Mm-hmm.
and Bowen both scored 10
Mm-hmm.
and 9 respectively. And then João Pedro, the player that they were trying to essentially transfer last week, they ended up captaining, which got them 18 points. So a bit of a weird one. I think it's going to go our way eventually, but yeah, at the moment we're not having a great time. I'm going to quickly run through the scores of their players at the moment, and then we'll talk about their transfers for this week. So Sanchez in goal, 6 points. Murillo, they got a single point. Pedro Porro, 4 points. Tarkovsky with three. Diouf with 10, as I mentioned. Salah with three. Anderson with 2, Smith Rowe with 1. So their midfield's not doing great. They made up for the points in the attack with Bowen with 9, Shesko with 1, and João Pedro at 18. I did emphasise Shesko there. Tommy Heaton on the bench, Goodmanson on the bench with 9 points, Damsgaard on the bench with 2, and Palmer not playing, so had 0 as well. They're currently 2 millionth in the game week rank for this week. And yeah, they're beating us, I think, by over about 30 points. Not great. Not great.
I think it's closer to, yeah, 30 points. I think it's closer to 40, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was trying to keep it light. Um,
yeah.
yeah, we've got some recovering to do. And just in terms of transfers this week, what did the AI decide to do?
So it was a pretty simple transfer, essentially, just a straight swap. I will say that I feel like it is fluking into it a little bit because when we did ask it the question the last time to sub uh out João Pedro when it gave us that conclusion, it was actually considering Bowen a midfielder.
Yeah,
So when I went back to ChatGPT, it said that of instead of taking the hit, it would rather maintain its free transfer and then sub Pedro out the next week, and then inexplicably decided to make it captain as well. So like I think its stupidity is working out for it, if anything.
yeah.
So, and maybe that's what we need to do, honestly. Just play
I mean,
absolutely blindfolded, and I think we'd be winning.
I think as I said, with it did want to take João Pedro out last week and then ended up captaining it. And ours will
Hmm.
change. I am very
Hmm.
confident.
Yeah.
We've got 2 fairly good FPL players, and the season is long. It's only game week 3. We've got a long time ahead of us. But yeah, that's the current AI team, and we'll go into the human team next.
Yes. Jumping into the human team. Game week 3. Pretty much bleak reading, honestly. But a total of 35 points. As usual, we'll have the teams on the screen for the AI as well as the human 11. We had Raya in goal with 2 from that honestly really boring game.
Yeah,
Not a very exciting game. But yeah, and since we had Gabriel in the back line as well, kind of like a double hit. Goes with your way one week, not so much the other. So 2 points from each of them. Mitchell came through this week with 6 points, and Van der Van, the person who we subbed in, unfortunately failed to deliver the goods, ended up with just the 1 point. Moving into the midfield, I think this is where we missed the most. Unfortunately, literally none of them hit. Kudus, Semenyo, Reinders, all with 2 points each. And Salah couldn't do his regular Salah thing of popping up with a goal and assist, unfortunately, this game. So ended up with 3 points. Moving into the front line, a great result for Sunderland, but unfortunately, Mayanda wasn't very involved in terms of converting anything that came his way. So ended up with 2 points. Vice captain Haaland, he came through with 9 points, and we were betting on Chris Wood to come up and deliver the goods against a very weakened West Ham team. And please do not look at the end of the last podcast, guys. I definitely didn't make a horrible prediction about West Ham. But yeah, so he ended up with 4 points in the end as our captain. If we would have played Rodon, apologies, we would have got 7 points. He was our most prolific player, unfortunately. He was
yeah.
on the bench with Dubravka with 2 points, Santos and Achampong with 0 minutes. So, hence, 0 points. In terms of the changes we've made to combat and come back against the AI, we have stuck with we stuck with Gabriel, we stuck with Mitchell and Van der Ven as well. We've backed our midfield to an extent, and we have ended up with Mayanda, Haaland, and Wood up front. With Salah, Reinders, Semenyo, and Kudus in the midfield. We've got Mitchell, Gabriel, and Van der Ven with Raya in goal. We did bring in Caicedo for this game week. We think it's a good move given the defensive contributions that he can end up with. We were having a look at the stats, James, and I believe it was 14 on average over the last 3 games. So yeah, hopefully it turns around.
I'm hoping so because we have had some stinkers at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
not just in our FPL but in our actual predictions as well.
Oh,
Um, how did Chris Wood do for us, eh? Um,
oh my God.
just in terms of our captains and the AI captain, I believe the AI is still going for João Pedro as captain. Correct me
Mm-hmm.
if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be going for. I forgot what we'll be going for actually.
We
Was it
will be
Salah?
going for Mo Salah.
It is Salah.
Hopefully he bags a lovely hat trick and a couple of assists against Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any game that Salah will turn up, it's usually against a lower team. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Um, Anyway, good luck to us, and I hope we pull off some big points advantages because we are
Pray for
needing
us,
it.
guys. Pray for us. We need
Please
it.
pray for us. Going into our next section, we'll be talking about the transfer window, just to see the final transfers across deadline day and some of the more major transfers across all of the clubs. Yeah, we've got quite a few to go through, so we'll probably go team by team.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any kind of, I don't know, big shocks or anything like that, we'll obviously highlight them. First person I want to talk about is Isaac. Obviously, this is kind of an Isaac
Ooh.
podcast at this point, with the crazy kind of drama that's been
Mm.
happening, to be honest. I think he went for 125 mil, or is it 130? It was between those
130
two.
in the end, but you know that the media love underreporting Liverpool's fees, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's no comment from me there with Chelsea fees. I think, but kind of going back to what we were saying a couple podcasts ago, actually, I think it was the first
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and how I was saying he's clearly unhappy, he wants to go, and Liverpool have fired basically. I think Newcastle should be happy. Anything above 120, I said, is a really good deal for Newcastle,
Mm-hmm.
um, because otherwise he just wouldn't have played. And yeah, I think Newcastle have got the best deal that they could have got. Um, if he didn't go to Liverpool, he probably wasn't going till January. And yeah, I think 125, 130 mil, they can use that, which they have, which we'll go into in a sec, buy someone else, and then they've still got plenty of money left to kind of reinvest in their team. What are you feeling about it?
You know my thoughts on this. I'm kind of conflicted on the whole player power versus club thing. I'll be interested to get your take on it as well. I do understand the player's perspective of when the club don't want you and they want to do whatever they want with you, they just have the right to do that. But when the player themselves wants to do something that's right by them and does do things that are considered unseemly or unprofessional,
Yeah,
that's somehow a big issue. I am a bit more old school. I do lean club ways. I think, especially if you've committed to a contract, I think if you've given your word to come into training every day and turn up every weekend on the pitch, to fans who pay your salary, who have made you what you are, I think that's the least you should do. I mean, there's a way to go about it. You can be professional and you can still get the result you want to get. I think that's very true as well. But maybe not, because you see what happened with Mark Gahey, right? He was like, he was the pillar of professionalism throughout the window, didn't complain, didn't cook up a fuss, made the appearances when he need to, put in a brilliant performance, got me 12 points for my own
yeah,
FPL team
yeah.
on the last weekend, and it didn't work out for him. So I don't know. I think it paints more of a picture of the current landscape of football more than anything. Even looking at Newcastle's transfers, for example, they had Wissa doing pretty much the exact same thing up until the very end, where they got him in on deadline day. So I think it's interesting. I think it speaks more about the landscape than the transfer itself. I mean, they're gonna get a lot out of it. I think another big question is what happens to Ekatike now. But yeah, I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on the whole player power thing.
Yeah, first of all, Isak did not ask to be transferred. He didn't put in a formal transfer request. Now, when you don't do that, the club has no obligation to do that, but you can obviously have normal conversations stating that you're unhappy. The reason why putting in a transfer request is so important is as soon as a player does that, they sacrifice their wages. And that would have been the best way for him to get transfer. Now, if he yeah, if he did do that, it would have been the most professional way, or however you want to call it. It's still not entirely professional, but football is a different career in many ways, but in the way of you are based on your actual ability as that person. So he doesn't have a lot of time in order to be world class, in my opinion. As in, I think he's what, 23, 24 now, something like that.
He's like 25, 26 actually.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. He's not
Mm-hmm.
like 18 is basically what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he's got, if you look at the average, he's got about maybe 7 years of really good football to
Mm-hmm.
play. If he runs down his contract, I believe it was a 3-year contract left,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
would be 28, 29.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, he would still be playing for Newcastle and he wouldn't achieve the heights of what he wants to within that Newcastle team. I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle aren't going to be winning the Prem. They're not going to be winning Champions Leagues, and that's what he wants to do. So there's two different ways of looking at it. I am in favour of him wanting to move, but doing it in a more professional way, similar to Mark Gahey, but Mark Gahey's also going for a free in summer, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a different situation. But they treat players like it's a business, so players
Mm-hmm.
need to treat them like it's a business as
Mm-hmm.
well. And it's not like they're receiving nothing from this; they're receiving so much money
Mm-hmm.
because of his contract that I do think it should be shifted towards players.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new there needs to be a new way for how it's handled,
Mm-hmm.
um, and possibly contract clauses, etc. So in La Liga, for instance, you have a release fee in every single contract.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sign a contract without a release fee. I think that needs to happen for Premier League teams as well, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that helps sort that kind of shift out to where if you sign that and you haven't got any opt out clauses, then at least you have that kind of, if you're playing to a standard that you think that you can play at when you sign that contract and another club wants to buy you, then they can. And there's no way that a club can reject it. Circa kind of Harry Kane when he wanted to leave at like,
Mm-hmm.
3 years into his contract. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's made you change your mind a little bit, but that's just kind of how I think that things need to be kind of going. No?
No chance. No, no. I'm
Okay.
not having it. I'm not having it. Because if it happened to your club or it happened to my club, if it was Bruno kicking up a fuss like this, I would be so mad at that guy. Honestly, I would be so mad at that guy. And that's kind of the perspective I'm looking at it from. Because, like he had 6 goals in La Liga before they paid like a ludicrous sum for him and he
Yeah.
came and he developed to what he developed into.
Yeah.
And I think even beyond conflict with the front office, and I think your release clause point is actually very good. I think the main issue was, I believe he had an agreement with Amanda Stavely, but as
Yeah.
soon as she's gone, the agreement goes with her.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where the whole situation came to a head.
I was just going to say, this is where I don't like gentlemen's agreements. You need
Mm-hmm.
things written in your contract, and this is why I think the solution for the problem is things like release clauses or
Mm-hmm.
mandatory opt out clauses.
Mm-hmm.
You either opt out or you re-sign for like an optional 3 years, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So you get to the
Mm-hmm.
end of your contract, 3-year contract, let's say, and the maximum you can sign is a 3-year contract, and then your opt in would be another 3 years at a certain price that you've
Mm-hmm.
kind of already made,
Mm-hmm.
or you would then opt out, and then you've also got the benefit of a release fee. I do think there needs to be more power to players.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Just yeah, hopefully these situations can be avoided because it feels like every summer one of these sagas ends up happening And
Yeah.
I just feel like there needs to be a more clear and concise solution, whether that's on the agent side, whether that's on the club side. Because even these La Liga release clauses, like Vinicius is a billion, Gulez is a billion, or like 500 million. Like it's not feasible to pay that anyway, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know where the balance is. I don't get paid to figure it out either, so I'm gonna leave that to the people who are way more competent than
Yeah.
I am. But yeah, hopefully no situations like this. It was so good to not have United involved in a saga for once, especially like this. It usually tends to always be us, and I'm glad we stayed out of it. We got our business done early.
Just following on from the Isaac stuff,
Mm-hmm.
obviously 125, 130 out, but 70 in, or vice versa, in Nick Voldmad,
Mm,
like Voldmade.
mate,
I
no, I'm not German. I'm not even touching that.
Yeah. Um, you and I were discussing
Mm-hmm.
beforehand how I personally think that's similar to Fulkrug, if
Mm,
I'm going to do a player comparison, and
mm-hmm.
you weren't believing how tall Fulkrug was.
He
Um,
does not present as 6'2". I am not having it. I'm absolutely not having it.
I really like Fulkrug. I thought he was really good for Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke about him, and you were like, he's tiny. And I'm like, maybe not. Um, but yeah, this guy, I'll call him Nick.
Yeah, nice. Safe.
Nick seems like a good player. From what I've looked at, I do think 70 is far and beyond too much. And even Transfer Market says his transfer value is at 30 mil, and that's right now. And they paid 70. They paid
Hmm.
70. Um, yeah, that's ridiculous. Also bringing in Visa as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I like to withhold judgment on Bundesliga Liga players in general
Yeah.
because the transition and with respect to the hit rate of going from Bundesliga to the Premier League is famously low.
Hmm.
Jadon Sancho, for example. I mean, the less said about that guy, the better. Thank
Hmm.
God, thank you, Villa, for taking another one of our cast-offs. I don't appreciate it. I cannot appreciate it enough. And also, we kind of pump faked you for the Emmy Martinez move. Sorry about that. Although maybe I would have him over Lomans. I'm not sure. We can get into that when we come to the United bit. In terms of Voltemade, Voltmade, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's very much it's gonna be a trial by fire. I'm gonna withhold judgment till he actually gets some reps in, see how he looks. To be fair, his profile is one of those unicorn profiles, very much in the Ekatike mold in terms of tall but very technical, can dribble with it, beat a player, but and should suit Newcastle. To be fair, if they were going for a Sesko-esque player, I don't think he's got Sesko's pace in behind. But again, haven't seen him at all, so I'm gonna withhold my judgment. I really like the Wissa move though. I definitely would have taken him at United. Like if we could have got Mbumo and Wissa for like 100, something like that, I would have been very, very happy with that. I think he's gonna work super well. I saw a picture where they photoshopped the picture of Defoe and Crouch and made it Voltmar than Wissa. I don't know if it's gonna deliver those levels of success, but I will keep an eye out with a lot of curiosity because that fee is insane, man. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I just a couple of stats. So he was obviously in the Bundesliga last year. He
Mm-hmm.
played 23-24. He played 30 games and he scored 2 goals. And in 24-25, he played 28 games and he scored 12 goals. Now,
Oof.
he this is his kind of he came through Werner Bremen youth academy, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and he went out on loan to SV Elversberg. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
German team, I believe, in the Prem division, or like one of those yo-yo teams essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He had a loan there for a year, and then he played uh, Werner Bremen, and then went to Stuttgart.
Stuttgart,
That
yeah,
was for
that's where he
that was
came
for
from.
4 mil, and that was
Mm-hmm.
his. As I said, that was his last season where he actually scored
Mm-hmm.
12 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was 4 mil, and now oh no, sorry, free transfer. Apologies. Um, and now he's 85 million euros or 70 mil pounds. I can't. I
Unreal,
just
man. Unreal.
I can't
Unreal.
see this going well for Newcastle. I'm all for recruiting good youth, but 70 mil, you're essentially paying for like I don't know who's worth that price who I can even consider at this point. I mean, we got Cole Palmer for what, 40,
40. Yeah,
50,
40
something like
something.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's English, and you know the
Mm-hmm.
English tax, the tax on English players are
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. So you're paying 70 for a young yeah, I can't comprehend this, to be honest. I think
I do understand it to a point where it is just the market right now. If you just look at the market in general, that's kind of the going rate for
uh
promising up and coming strikers. Like Ekatike was what, like 90 M's, euros. Sesko came out to around the 70-75 mark. Voltemade again around the 80 mil euro mark. That's
Sesko's been doing
just
it for a
the
while though. Like
yeah, exactly. But this is what I'm
he's
saying.
been
Yeah.
scoring goals for Leipzig for at least a couple
Yeah.
seasons, and
Yeah,
he's
2 years,
been
yeah.
on the radar for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ekitike, like I'm pretty sure he's had at least a couple of seasons.
Oh yeah,
But
no, yeah.
Voltmad. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to call him Nick, as I said.
Nick. Mm-hmm.
He's literally played one season. He's played one season and
Mm-hmm.
scored 12 goals.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that he's worth 70 mil?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Crazy.
know about that. I just don't
Crazy.
know. It's crazy.
So let's move on to the next transfer from the person receiving it to the person sending those long balls up. I am curious to get your take on Donnarumma to City.
Yeah, I think I was on holiday when this transfer happened. Um, I I literally heard about it um, as I was coming back. I I feel really bad for one individual, and his name's James Trafford. Um, I just feel awful for that guy because he has been playing well, not for City, but he's been playing well for Burnley. I think he went on a ridiculous run where he kept like 14 clean sheets in a row last season. It was genuinely. I think it was in the media because he was messaging the team owner who was an NFL player. I forgot what his name is.
JJ Watt.
Um, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and getting him to come back out of retirement, and he was so close as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, James Trafford, crazy, crazy good, but that was Championship. Um, so I wonder if they're going to send him out on loan now. I really, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Donnarumma, great player, French league winner, Italian league winner. Yeah, he's just a winner. He's a serial
Champions
winner.
League winner last season.
Champions League winner. The guy is different gravy to most other keepers. The only thing I'm unsure about is he going to fit the City system? But at the same time, I don't think they care. I just don't think they care. Um, they want a stopper and goal like a Thibaut
Mm-hmm.
Courtois or as
Mm-hmm.
we just said, like Donnarumma. He's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be like the Neuer and redefine the goalkeeping position, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to do everything that City needs,
Mm-hmm.
which is repair that leaky defense at the moment.
Um, I agree and disagree. I think this is the most non-City transfer I've seen City make in a while. This is almost kind of harking back to their early days where they were bringing in the likes of Robinho, for
Yeah,
example, big star name players who will bring in a lot of perceived value. I think I pretty much echo your thoughts in terms of his fit into the system. I think what Edison did for City, like especially since he just got his move to Turkey, a lot of his compilations have been coming up. And man, that guy could have easily got between 5 and 10 assists a season. Like his playing out the back is unreal, man. It's basically like having like a deep lying six, but they can kick it
Yeah.
out from the D. It's an insane it's an insane asset to have. And his shot stopping wasn't the great, which is wasn't that great, which is why I think they did go for the likes of Donnarumma, especially on the back of Trafford's shaky start. But he doesn't play well out with his feet. He's
Yeah.
an elite shot stopper, but he is prone to a lot of defensive errors as well. I've been listening to a lot of the analysis of his move, and I think it's very much a case of we he did shine in the Champions League, but that's kind of the data set that most people are going off of.
Hmm.
And over his 4 years in PSG, he didn't have the greatest of times. He wasn't a wall like De Gea maybe was, or like the likes of Czech was. He definitely wasn't that over his year in PSG. The last season he did come on, so I think City are hoping that he does provide that level of value again. I mean, he's got all the tools. He's massive. He can dive. I think he's got great reflexes. But again, claiming from corners in a league like the Premier League, me as a United fan, I only know too well what a keeper who doesn't do that can end up doing. And again, especially the form City are in or are projecting at least in the beginning of the season, you do need someone who you can absolutely rely on. And I think if Donnarumma doesn't have the greatest start, it's the no, pressure levels aren't the same as United, but I think people will be looking at him. I think the spotlight is very much on him. And is this maybe a sign of things to come? There's been a huge shakeup in terms of City's front office as well. This is the first season that the new front office have been in power. And are they gonna do more signings like this? It's TBC, but yeah, definitely an interesting evolution of City's approach in the transfer market.
Yeah, and just touching back on Donnarumma, I didn't realize he's 26 years old, so I was a bit wrong in saying that
Hmm.
he's out of his peak. I forget how young that guy is, just because
Hmm.
he's played for Milan and PSG for so long.
Hmm.
Um, it feels like he's been around for eternity, but keepers go
He's
on
been
too
playing
like
since
their
he was
form.
16, so like 10
Yeah,
years now, to be fair.
yeah,
So, I mean, you're not
crazy.
wrong.
It's crazy. I do think he'll develop into a Thibaut Courtois type player, where it's
Hmm.
just a really good shot stopper. But I don't think that distribution's really gonna develop too much. But we'll see. We'll see. He's only 26. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to some of the other transfers. I believe Aman's going to go through them, and we'll just kind of compile the top six.
Before we have a quick fire on the remaining transfers, I quickly wanted to touch upon the goalkeeping situation on the other side of Manchester. The first thing, the first statement I would like to make is I'm not a religious person. I am spiritual. I would classify myself as agnostic. But when I see Andre Onana, the Trabzonspor, here we go from Fabrizio Romano, makes me think maybe God does exist and maybe he is looking after me and my mental health after all.
Yeah.
Because as I was saying in the first podcast, I was speaking to a friend of mine and I said that if Onana is between the sticks, I refuse to watch this season.
Yeah.
And the one game he was in between the sticks this season, we lost to a League Two teammate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was having an argument with someone at work, and he was saying that the loss is on Amram. To an extent, yes, I think his biggest mistake was picking him in the first place.
Yeah.
But when your goalkeeper chucks in two goals, there's just no combating it. This the audacity of this man. I don't know if you know about this. So essentially, the United players, all of them have a clause in their contract that when United's not in the Champions League, they get a 25% pay cut.
Yeah.
This man, Onana, this shameless. Oh my god, blood boils my blood. Is the reason we're not in the Champions League in the first place. He single handedly chucked so many goals in that we were knocked out of the Champions League. And this man had the audacity to A, come back unfit to preseason, but on top of that, he wanted to renegotiate his contract and get his wages bumped up to the pre Champions League levels. Can you imagine the gall and the audacity of this man? And like,
Yeah,
get your bread, get your bag, no worries. And to be fair, he's getting paid double of what he's on in Turkey. So thank you, thank you, thank you, God, thank you, whoever. My God, this man is gone. A relief. But
yeah,
something that I am scared about is Senna Lomans, but I would love your views on Onana as someone who I'm sure has enjoyed his antics and his exploits in
yeah.
our goal.
He's a character for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I was always skeptical. I think pre-United he was at obviously Ajax, and he was actually banned because of steroid use.
Drugs.
Not that that's a an
Mm-hmm.
indicator or anything, but it kind of is. And
Didn't
then
improve his
yeah,
performance, I'll tell you that much, man. It
yeah,
did
I was
not
gonna
enhance
say,
his performance
uh, it,
whatsoever.
it might have done for Ajax for a season, but he should really be back on them at this point. But yeah, it was comical. Like I think it's fair to say, he was comical at points in
At
some of his
points.
positioning. I think his ability in terms of reflexes is good. His positioning is genuinely the worst positioning I've ever seen from a goalkeeper. He can make some crazy spectacular saves, but the whole point is if you're in a good position, you don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of his issues lie. He just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be making those saves because
Mm-hmm.
he could have caught it or he could have saved it in a much more kind of easy, comfortable way, or even grab it. Like the amount of
Mm-hmm.
times that I don't see Onana grab the ball is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. To me, as a goalkeeper, I want a goalkeeper who's going to have big hands, Kasper Schmeichel-esque, Peter
Mm-hmm.
Cech-esque, and just grab the ball from a corner. I don't like people punching balls. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like seeing, a save where it's tipped away and then someone else is like able to rebound onto it because to me that shows me yeah, you can do that if it's a spectacular save and you will never be able to get that ball. But if you're able to catch a ball, you should catch a ball. And that's why I don't like keepers like Vicario. I don't like Sanchez at Chelsea. There's only a handful of keepers who I really think are good keepers. Courtois is one of them. Donnarumma is actually one of them. And they're usually the bigger goalkeeper. Even what's the name? Areola at I think it's West
West
Ham.
Ham. Mm-hmm.
I I enjoy watching him play because yeah, he might make a couple of mistakes, but he can. It just the thing is, the goalkeeper is your anchor to your defense. If you have a solid goalkeeper behind you, your defenders play better. It's just psychological. It
Mm-hmm.
just is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way, vice versa. If you've got a good four in your team, i.e., the centre back, you've yeah, it's going to be a lot better. Anyway, yeah, that's my opinion on Onana.
Yeah, just as you were speaking, like all the replays in my head, like passing it out to the opposition player who's pressing us, parrying it right into the opposition striker's path so he can get a clean. Mate, I don't know. I think it was the Nottingham game. I swear this dude moved out of the way of the ball. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
tried not to save it. Like it was coming straight at him. I think the
yeah,
shot was down the middle and it
yeah,
swerved to the right at the end. This brother
yeah,
went left. This
yeah.
brother went
This
left.
is this
What are
is
you
what I'm
gonna do?
saying.
What?
This is what I'm saying. Where he tries to make a spectacular save, and he he guesses sometimes the way that the ball's going to go. You should never be guessing where the
Yeah.
ball's going to go
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to. And the only time that happens, and is when it gets a deflection closer to the goal, i.e., your defender's like right there in front of you, and the balls came in from a long shot or something like that, and then you've already gone one way. Fair enough. But if you're guessing where the ball's going to go on a free kick
Crazy.
and it goes the other corner, you look like a fucking idiot. And
Honestly.
yeah, he just did. Yeah, speaking of goalkeepers,
On top of that, wait, so I'm not done, man.
yeah,
I
yeah,
went through two
you can
years of
carry on
this
with your
guy.
run. Yeah, it's all
This
good.
2 years of this guy. He's got Poppadom wrists on top of that. Honestly, this he got his hand to five of the penalties against Grimsby, and not one of them looked like it even got deflected. Like the path of the ball didn't change. How is that possible? It's a
Yeah,
professional goalkeeper getting his hand to the ball. But anyway, I think just briefly on Lawman, since I think my Onana rant went on a little longer than it should have.
yeah,
I think in terms of you mentioning Thibaut Courtois,
yeah,
obviously very very high standard, a very high name to live up to, but he has been given the moniker of Baby Courtois out in Belgium. If you look at his stats, I think definitely a stat monster. He prevented 14.5 xg um, last season, whereas De Gea in his best ever season went at 12.5 xg. So clearly a very good shot stopper. I was listening to Belgian journalist speak about him as well, pretty much
yeah,
echoed the same thoughts. One of the main concerns with our keepers the last few seasons has been the inability to claim crosses or have any command of their box whatsoever. Again, two attributes of him which he's supposed to shine in.
yeah,
The major caveat, obviously, being that he's coming over from the Belgian Pro League,
yeah,
and the Belgian Pro League is not obviously at the level of the Premier League in terms of the strikers coming at you, as well as the physicality on defensive set pieces, for example. So it'll be interesting to watch him transition. I have an interesting question for you. It's with something I've been considering. Uh, would I would personally start buying deal, but would you be willing to throw Lawman straight into the mix against City, or would you go with buy and deal and introduce him slowly?
yeah. So to answer that question, I think yes, he needs to go straight in. I think he, I've followed him for the past couple of years actually. I think he had a phenomenal season last season. He actually probably was the player of the year for the club that he was playing. I can't
He
remember off
was, that's
the
correct.
top. The
Royal Antwerp.
Yes, Antwerp.
Mm-hmm,
Um, and yeah, I think a lot of the best goalkeepers actually come from the Belgium Pro League.
mm-hmm,
I'm looking at people like Thibaut Courtois.
mm-hmm.
I believe, I think it was the Liverpool sub goalkeeper. What's his name? Irish guy.
Mignolet.
Yeah, sorry, Mignolet.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm,
Um, and obviously Mignolet's not fantastic, but he's had
mm-hmm,
his moments.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a different league, but it's a more attacking league. Whenever I watch Belgian Pro League, it's just back and forth, back and forth. I've watched Ghent games, Antwerp, yeah, Anderlecht, all of these clubs, and it's literally a back and forth. So the goalkeepers do need to be on that game. You're not going to be sat around like a City goalkeeper for 45 minutes and not
Mm-hmm.
have to save a shot in the past like
Mm-hmm.
3 years. It's going to be non-stop saves. It literally
Mm-hmm.
will be. So I think he's going to do really well. Matt Sells
Oh, he is Belgian.
is,
Matt Sells is Belgian.
yeah, I think it was Matt Sells. My ball knowledge might be off here.
No,
Um,
you're spot on, I think. It is
sorry
Matt
for
Sells.
the.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah,
Did he actually play for a Belgian team or is he just from Belgium?
I'm gonna have a look.
He did play for a
He
Belgian team.
he did play for a Belgian team.
He played for Ghent. I knew
Mm-hmm.
and Anderlecht.
That's where you saw him.
Yeah, there you go. I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Ball knowledge on top form today.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great goalkeeper. I think it's fair to
Mm-hmm.
say. I think I'd be
Mm-hmm.
happy to have him at Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Lamens is going to do really well, and hopefully, well, not hopefully for me, but
He
hopefully for you,
he
he's
has to,
gonna.
mate. Otherwise, the season is over for us.
It can't really go too much worse. Let's put it that
Oh,
way. But yeah, interesting. I hope it goes well. I actually really think he's a good goalkeeper. So yeah, I hope it goes well for him. Yeah, let's run through some of the other major transfers
mm-hmm.
over not just the transfer deadline day, but some of the bigger ones throughout the window. I'm a bit out of date on a couple of them, but I'm sure you'll run through and I'll give my comments.
Yes. So we did have a super active deadline day. So I think it's worth touching upon a little bit of the moves. Maybe we give a little bit of comms on what we think about them before delving a little deeper into how the top six performed throughout the transfer window. So I'm just going to run through these, and if something excites you, please,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let me know. So for Arsenal on deadline day, we had Zinchenko going out, Reece Nelson going out, Kiwior, Vieira, and Albert Sambi Lakonga. All of them a pretty
yeah,
decent clear out for them.
yeah.
I think Zinchenko to Forest is interesting, and they brought in Piero
Yeah.
Hincapié. I've heard it said a few
Hincapi.
times.
Yeah.
You have some thoughts about him, James?
Yeah, I've seen him from Bayern Leverkusen. He was very clinical in their undefeated season, which is nice to see outside
Mm-hmm.
of Arsenal fans. Um, yeah, I think he's a really solid centre back who is gonna really be that replacement for um, when Arsenal kind of want to go either into a back three, which I
Mm-hmm.
think would be a good idea for a team like Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
It allows one more player to go a little bit more forward, use their
Mm-hmm.
wing backs a little bit more higher, or as that kind of replacement for when Gabriel kind of inevitably kind of gets injured, or Saliba.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yeah, he's only a loan if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I
With
think
an
he's
option to buy for like
yeah
50 M's. Yeah.
yeah, I really like him. I think he's got every attribute that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's a bit short, if I'm not mistaken. He's 5'11",
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, I'm trying to compare him to another defender, but I can't really think of one. I would kind of maybe go to like an Azpilicueta style, where he's just good IQ wise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I think he's a really good a loan deal at least, just for that kind of extra depth that Arsenal might need at the back.
Much like my full Krug shot, I think Piero does present shorter in person. He's actually 184 meters, so around 6 foot.
Yeah, five
But yeah,
five
I
5'11",
think yeah,
five
yeah,
11,
yeah.
6 foot.
But
So
yeah,
same difference.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think definitely his versatility is something that I've heard is something Arsenal can utilize. I think the fact that they have a option and not an
Yeah,
obligation also, I think they've done some really good business there.
yeah.
So yeah, let's see how his season plays out. Moving on to Aston Villa, a
Mhm.
little bit of a United graveyard, kind of, which I'm happy to see. Victor Lindelof is back in the Prem, signed as a free agent, and they took Jadon Sancho off our hands. Thank you, Lord. They're
Oh
covering
wow.
80% of his wages, and there's apparently some bonuses wherein if the club does well, they can cover all of his wages. And for someone who's on 300 bags a week, I think United very much need that. With
So they've
Jacob Ramsey, with
traded
Jacob Ramsey
Rashford
going out.
for Sancho,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I know they're
Interesting.
both gone, mate. That's
Yeah,
half a mil off the books every week. I will
yeah.
take that any
Fair
day.
enough. Fair enough.
Looking at Bournemouth, they got Veliko Milosavljevic. Oh my, I should have really practiced that. And Alex Jimenez. Looking at Brentford, they got Reece Nelson in. Again, I think kind of an underrated player. Can definitely has the potential to do super well, I think, especially at a team like Brentford. A lot of transition play, I think, suits his characteristics as well. With Johan Wissa going out to Newcastle, as we all know. Looking at Chelsea, I'm actually kind of jealous of the signing. I really like Facundo Buonanotte. And I think he can do super well. How you guys managed to get a 15 million euro loan fee for Nicholas Jackson is beyond me. I don't know what Chelsea's transfer team is cooking up, but they are
Yeah,
chefing this window, mate. They are chefing, and I think his buy options like 65 million euros or something as well.
yeah.
So to
I
get
think we
that level, yeah, is insane.
paid like 45, I think,
Yeah,
for him, 45, 50, something like that. So yeah,
yeah.
it makes sense to go for around 65, 70 is kind of what I was expecting. Yeah, to be fair, he gets a lot of stick in terms
Mm-hmm.
of he can't finish. And I think it's fair, but looking back, he has every other attribute bar finishing. I know it's not
Yeah.
great for a striker,
Mm-hmm.
but he does
Mm-hmm.
have pretty much every other attribute.
Mm-hmm.
He can hold up pretty well, not amazing, but pretty well. He runs the channels, and that's the one
Mm-hmm.
thing he does better than almost any other striker that I've seen in the Prem. He can run the channels
Mm-hmm.
and essentially just feed other players, but his end product is terrible. I did see a stat the other day though that said he scored, I think it was the most goals from a striker in 2 seasons since Didier Drogba.
Jesus.
Um, something like that. I can't.
Must
Or
be
like
since Costa, surely. Must be since
from his
Costa.
from his first 2 seasons
Mm-hmm.
from Chelsea, which is pretty incredible. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, when you're the only person playing, and obviously the Prem's a bit different. You only play with one striker, not two anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or most teams anyway. Um, yeah, I wish him all the best, but I just don't think he's Chelsea material in where we want to be going. And I'm just I'm grateful for João Pedro.
Honestly, as a backup to Kane, I think that's a brilliant option to have.
Yeah,
And just rounding out Chelsea's transfer business, the most, I should say, nothing to see here transfer that I've seen in the window. Ben Chilwell for an undisclosed fee
yeah,
to Strasbourg. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, I
Shock.
wonder what's going on there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
interesting.
It's our baby club. You can't
Uh-huh. Yeah,
can't.
freaking I never heard of Blueco in my life before this. How is this even
Yeah,
happening? Like we couldn't sign Todibo, but you can send Bel Chilwell to the south of France or wherever
yeah.
Strasbourg is
We
for
did
left
it with André
and no one
Santos.
blinks
We did it with Esteval. Yeah, we've done it. We've done it with a
and
bunch
no
of people.
one bats an
Petrovic,
eye.
Jordi Petrovic, who obviously Bournemouth this season.
Lovely. So, staying in London, going south from west, we are looking at Crystal Palace. The really interesting transfer for me here is Jeremy Pino for Villarreal. Um, Someone United faced a bunch during the Europa League exploits. I can only remember it too well from the final where De Gea let in 11 penalties. Mate, just United and penalty shootouts. But I think he's a top player, and I think Palace have done super well in being able to replace the output of the likes of Olise so far. I think they definitely made up with the rest of the team last season.
Yeah.
And will they be able to deliver as A levels? I don't think so, but I rate Glasner, and I think overall he'll get enough out of the team. I'm
Hmm.
very happy that Liverpool didn't end up getting Gahey over the line in the end. I'm glad. I'm so glad that didn't go through. Like with the powerhouse they have in attack, it's not like they're lacking in centre backs, but getting Gahey in would just take them to another level.
Him and Van Dijk. I think,
Mm,
yeah, it would have been a bit unfair,
yeah.
especially considering they've got rid of a couple of their youngsters in that position as well.
Mhm.
Gerald Quansah,
Mhm.
to name one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not glad for Gahey, but I am glad for the status of the league. Just looking at
Mhm.
some of the Liverpool transfers like Isak, Verts, Ekitike, Kirkez, Frimpong, and then you look at someone like Gahey. You've basically just got the
A new
stars of
11
those
essentially.
positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do want to just quickly touch the fact that Liverpool were able to sell Darwin Núñez
Mhm.
for 75 million
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
crazy. We were talking about Jackson. I'm sorry, but Núñez is Jackson with extra like eccentricity. Like he's
Mhm.
just he's just flaring it up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
he finds the crossbar more than he finds the back of the net.
Mhm. And then Eze to Arsenal, again an
Yeah,
interesting move. I think they definitely needed that upgrade out on the left. I don't rate
yeah,
Martinelli and all. And your shout for him doing something against Liverpool fell pretty flat on its face. So I'm
yeah.
glad
Well,
they were able to get Martinelli out of the team and Eze into the team. It's going to be interesting how they utilize him because he was obviously playing down the middle for Palace, whereas that's where Odegaard typically operates. So coming in off the left, he has shown really good results. but the way Arsenal play as well, especially after the display against Liverpool, it'll be curious to see how he fits in.
Well, this is why I said I think they'll go to a three back. I
Maybe
I think the three back allows for
the
uh,
tens.
the two tens, and then
Mm-hmm.
still having the wingers kind of come in a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more like wing backs.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Saka would or whoever else they play on the left,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I think maybe someone else drops back. I'm not sure. I can see that happening though. It will probably take a bit of
Mm-hmm.
time, but I think there's no other real reason for you to get Hikampe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, we'll see.
Okie dokes. Moving swiftly on to Everton. Not much going on deadline day. They got in Merlin Roll on loan from Freiburg. Looking at Fulham, Samuel Chukwueze.
Yeah,
Wonder kid from back in the day on loan from AC Milan. They got Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk and Jorge Cuenca from Villarreal.
good pronunciation.
Liverpool in Alexander Isak.
Yeah,
Mark Gahey fell through, thank God. Out Harvey Elliott and
yeah.
I think that's going to be a great move for him
I
at
think
Villa.
I think he's a surprise pick in my FPL.
Oh,
If we
nice.
were going to do a transfer, I think Harvey
Yeah.
Elliott's
Yeah, that's
he's
not a bad
definitely
shout at all.
going to be a good
Elliot and
shout.
Rogers in the
Yeah,
midfield is pretty
yeah, yeah,
spicy. And I will also shout out Liverpool's transfer department again, getting 30 million for Jarell Kwanzaa. What the hell,
yeah.
man? Like, how are
I
you doing it?
thing
How are
is,
you
I
doing
really
that?
like him. I really like. I've been saying it for a while, because funnily enough, I had him in a Football Manager like 3 years ago,
Oh, nice.
and I just remember his name always stuck with me, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember him debuting for Liverpool, and I was saying to a couple of friends where I was just like, he's going to be good. I know he's going to be good. He's
Mm-hmm.
still really young, and he
Yeah,
was
he
getting
is.
first team football for Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely feel he's going to do well. He'll be probably England's next centre back.
Ooh,
I
that's a
mean,
big
I
shout from
mean,
you, James.
the only other person I can think of is Mark Gahey, and he's already in the team.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
like, Jared Brantwaite,
Harry Maguire, mate, come on.
he's he's
The man,
he's
the myth, the legend.
he's gone already, mate. So yeah, I think Gerald Quansah's gonna be if he does well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's remind me where he's gone.
A
Quansah?
Leverkusen.
Yeah,
He went to
great.
Leverkusen.
Great. So they've he basically replaced Hikampe.
Hincapie. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I if he has a good season, I can see him either getting another transfer or maybe going to a bigger club. Not saying that Leverkusen is not a big club, but yeah, I think he'll do well.
One to keep an eye on. Moving on to Manchester City.
Mhm.
So the transfers in we've already touched upon in Donnarumma.
Yeah,
Very interesting move. Very excited to see how that plays out. Akanji is gone. He's went on loan to Inter Milan.
yeah.
Edison, shout out as a former goalkeeper myself. I cannot pay enough respect to how much he did change the game. One of the modern greats, not the best shot stopper, but a brilliant keeper overall. I'll never forget him playing 1-2s in the midfield so casually. And the crazy thing was like the City outfielders was like, yeah, mate, let's have a kick about in like the middle of a Premier League game.
Yeah.
Insane. There, no one will do it like him ever again. Moving on to United. Son Lawman's in. Thank God. Jadon Sancho out. Rasmus Højlund out to Napoli.
Yeah.
Uh, would like to touch upon him. Really rated him. I think I do rate him when we signed him as well. I think he just ended up in a shit situation at a shit club. Um, and and was pretty much the antithesis of Isaac. Was completely professional. Did the most stay at the club, but then when it came to it, he did take the move. Went to Napoli, which I think is a great move for him. The Italian champions, brilliant. I think. United players have had a lot of success transitioning to the Italian league. See Scott McTominay, Ballon d'Or contender. So
Hmm.
I think he can do super well there. Anthony to Real Betis, another one. Shout out Betis. We get 50% on any future sale, so I hope he goes rips it up and Atleti or someone buy him for like 100 mil. I'll happily take a calm 35 mil. Harry Amas, you obviously don't know about him, but personally, someone who I'm super excited to see how he develops. He's gone on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. He's like a baby Shaw actually, and I think if he can develop in the championship, have a couple of good loan spells, I think he's definitely got scope to be there in the future. And Lindelof went to Villa. Any thoughts
Yeah.
on that, or shall I move on?
No, I think Lindelof. He's he's definitely past it now.
Mm-hmm.
Not not great appearances when he did play, so I think it's fair. I don't think he's going to play too much at Villa, but Villa have had a lot of injuries in their
Mm-hmm.
backline, so it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, Lindelof gets his own injury, so yeah, we'll see.
Also curious to see how do you think Hoyland would do?
He did really well at Atalanta when he
Mm-hmm.
was already playing
Mm-hmm.
in the Italian league. I before he moved to Man United, I thought he was going to do really well
Mm-hmm.
because I did see him play and I thought he was good. But I think you are correct. The system that he was designed to play as
Mm-hmm.
within Manchester United, it just didn't fit his role.
Mm-hmm.
He likes having um, either I would I think they played a 4-5-1
Mm-hmm.
before in
Mm-hmm.
Atalanta, if I'm not mistaken, with two cams.
3-4-3-4-5-1. It's Gasperini does a bit of everything, honestly.
Yeah, but also it's a much faster pace.
Mm-hmm.
He tends to get a little bit more um, kind of space. Well, Atalanta does
Mm-hmm.
play that way
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very high pressing as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be good for him. I don't know how much game time he'll get, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
should be good.
Lukaku is injured, so he should
Yeah,
get a lot of game time. I
yeah,
think I think if you brought him in alongside someone like a Kane, I think that's definitely where he would have flourished more. But leading the line for United at 21 with one Serie A season
yeah. It's
under
tough.
your belt, unless you're like generational,
Yeah.
that's very hard to come back from. But I love the guy. I really rate him, and I hope he does well at Napoli. Moving on to Newcastle, Wissa out. They got Voltmar. Then we spoke about both of them. Jacob Ramsey, I think, is a great addition to their midfield.
Yeah.
Really excited to see how he'll kick on. I think fits the midfield perfectly well, complements them really well. I think having a ball carrier and there's definitely the way the Premier League is going. And I would have taken Jacob Ramsey as one of those tens in a heartbeat, honestly, especially from what's required from the system. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll be interested to see how he performs. Um, Moving on to Nottingham Forest, they got Zinchenko in. They also got Delane Bakwa from Strasbourg and Cuibano from Botafogo. We
Yeah.
love a Brazilian, don't we? Um,
Yeah.
and going into the final few teams, Sunderland got in Brian Bobby from Ajax, someone Ten Hag was pushing for
Yeah.
during his time at United. So
A
will be
wonder kid on
interesting to see.
FM as
Uh huh.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been on the radar as well from my
Mm
games.
hmm. Mm hmm.
Solid player.
Yeah, so we'll get a pretty good idea of what Ten Hag's talent ID is like.
Hmm.
Looking forward to see how he performs over the season. Kolo Muani for Spurs is an
Yeah,
interesting move.
I was waiting for
Um,
this transfer. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's an interesting move. I think not prolific. That's always been the criticism of him. I think if he was, I think France would have another World Cup, but that is what he's like. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to develop it, but very much in the mold of like a Nicholas Jackson, does everything else so well, runs the channels, links up play, and that
Yeah.
holds his own against most centre backs. And Tottenham do need some rotation at striker.
Yeah.
Solanke's injured often, and Richarlison has started hot. But I think yeah, I think they have a good options in terms of depth with Son leaving as well. So yeah, excited to see how he gets on as well. Like United have been linked to him a bunch of times, so it'll be good to see
I
how he does in the
think
Prem.
I think he's a really good loan move. I think
Mhm.
it's a yeah, really fantastic pickup. I think he, as you said, is just a different type of striker. He's fast as well. Oh my god, he's fast.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I think he's the type of player to make the wingers look better.
Mhm.
and we were speaking about Brennan Johnson back post goals.
Oh my God.
He's now going to have somebody who runs to that front post, so
Mhm.
that Brennan Johnson's going to get those goals. He
Mhm.
will pick up goals this season as well. I
Mhm.
think Colin Warren, he's going to have a good season.
Mhm.
The other point is he's been playing with Mbappe for the majority of his career up to this
Mhm.
point.
Mhm.
Um, so none of the kind of star power was on him, and
Mhm.
now that he's left, he's had a bit of a tough time kind of
Mhm.
adapting.
Mhm.
He can now go back if he plays with a Solanke or Brennan Johnson. He's got other people that can basically take that load off of him, and he can
Mhm.
do all the running. Yeah, well, I think he has all of the right attributes, and he should do well this season. But yeah,
Yeah, I think he's not a typical Frank striker as well that you would
yeah,
commonly associate with him. So it'll be interesting to see how he uses him. And last but not least, we have Wolves who brought in Tolo Arokodare from Genk. A lot of Belgian
Bell,
moves happening.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
And that pretty much is our transfer deadline day roundup, as well as us touching upon some of the bigger moves and our thoughts on them. We're gonna quickly jump into the top sixes transfer windows and give it a letter grade. So, kicking it off with Arsenal, James, I'm gonna run you through the transfers in and transfers out, and you can give me a letter grade and any your thoughts if you have any.
yeah.
So for Arsenal transfers in Abedi Chieze, Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Noni Madueke, Christian Nogel, because that's how you say his name apparently, and Piero Hincapié in. On the way out, Jorginho, Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Lakonga, Jakub Kiwior, Reece Nelson, and Nuno Tavares.
I will grade this a B. I think the
Mm-hmm.
outs are needed. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
good way to basically rejuvenate the team, get rid of
Mm-hmm.
the old guards or some of
Mm-hmm.
the players that don't really come through.
Mm-hmm.
And solid picks, bar
Mm-hmm.
as I think they're all fairly like solid role players.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Gyökeres as well, but we'll see how he develops more than anything. Eze's the only one that's really proven there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say a B overall, a bit overpaying when it comes to Gyökeres, Eze,
Mm-hmm.
and Madueke.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise pretty solid.
I will go with a B as well. I think it has the potential to be a B plus,
Yeah,
depending on how Gyökeres performs. I think
yeah,
Zubimendi settled in. I think Madu AK is actually going to have a very prominent role because Saka just seems to get injured so often, doesn't he?
yeah.
And he seems to be on pretty good form for both England and Arsenal so far this season. Hincapie again, someone we're excited about. I think Eze is gonna rip it up. I hope he doesn't, because I think if he delivers at the top level, I think that's exactly what Arsenal need.
Yeah,
Because Odegaard has been lacking from a creative perspective, especially. So I think having Eze to supplement that can be very dangerous. So I think overall B, maybe B plus.
we'll
Zubamendi is
see how it
hitting,
goes.
but if Gyökeres and Eze hit, I think it can be a very good window.
Cool.
Moving on to your boys in blue, Chelsea
Yeah,
Football Club. We've got in João Pedro, Alejandro Garnacho, Jamie Gittins, Estevao, Liam Delap, someone I think can be really good, and I'm kind of jealous he got is Jarell Hato from
yeah,
Ajax. I think he
yeah.
can be a top player, man. With
Hmm.
Madueke, Broha, Chukwuemeka, who I would have taken as well. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Nkunku, Jackson, Chilwell, and Petrovic going the other way. What are you
Um,
rating your team?
First of all, I'm happy to see Nkunku go.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting that guy to succeed for so long, and he just hasn't. I feel bad for Broja.
Mm-hmm.
I really rooted for that guy as well, but
Mm-hmm.
he just never really delivered, and is quite injured. Ben
Mm-hmm.
Chilwell as well. Sad to see him go, but yeah. Also, Kepa is not
Mm-hmm.
mentioned on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boys back.
Overall. Um, there's one transfer, and I think you know what it is that I don't agree with,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I would say it was a pretty flawless run. So I will give that an A minus.
Interesting. I will go with a B.
Okay.
I think actually let's go B plus because you took Garnacho off our hands. No, I'm just joking. I'll stick with a B. I
Okay.
think you didn't improve your goalkeeper. I don't know how you keep not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had the worst start to the season, but from his track record, you can pretty much
Yeah.
expect Sanchez to have some sort of a drop off at some point in time. I think João Pedro has had a very hot start, but again, I think
Yeah.
you could have, especially with the amount you've spent. I think getting a guaranteed number nine, I think is on the list as well. I think you were pretty much sorted in the other places, and you've hoarded wingers again like
Yeah.
you tend to do. So, honestly, I think the midfield was pretty straight. I think the defense was pretty robust. Maybe like a Caldwell replacement because he's out for the season. Maybe you could have done something like that. Though with the likes of Hato coming in, I think
Yeah.
he can have a big role to play. But yeah, mainly it's just the lack of goalkeeper and like a super duper convincing number nine is why I'm not going B plus or A. But I think B is probably fair.
I
But the
think.
fees you got are like an A plus, mate. Like I don't know how you do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
the
Well,
transfers
that
in, transfers out,
I'm
that's like an A
I'm
plus.
judging it. I'm
Unreal.
judging it on the fees. Like Madueke out for 52,
Mm-hmm.
Petrovic for 25. Even though I probably would like him to stay and be the number one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously Nicholas Jackson. Like these are players that we wanted to go. The only
Mm-hmm.
transfer in that I didn't like was Garnacho. I think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not. I'm just not happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with the number nine. I think Liam Delat was sorted early,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he has the potential to really grow into that spot. But João
Mm-hmm.
Pedro is he's just next level at the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
he really he proved it at Brighton, and I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to prove it in a better team now. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that number nine, which was a big point, the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why mine is an A minus and not an A plus is because we didn't sort out the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we brought in the backup to the centre back that we needed, which was
Mm-hmm.
Joel Hato slash left back if he needs to, and we brought in really good wingers. Esteval technically was done 2 years ago when he was 16, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be special, really special,
Mm-hmm.
and Gitten's still judging at the moment. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe B minus, but I'll stick with my A plus.
Fair enough.
Uh, B plus, B plus
I
and
think
A
that's fair.
minus. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Moving on to I think Liverpool, obviously window of the season, but
Yeah.
I think it's up there for window of this century at least. I mean, I'm gonna read out some of the
Close.
names, mate,
Yeah, it's
and
close.
they're ridiculous. Alexander Isak for 125, 130 million.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz for 116 million. Hugo Ekitike for 79 million. Kirkesh, who I think is a pretty good deal at 40 million. Um, and Jeremy Frimpong at less than 30 million.
Yeah.
That's an incredible window.
All pretty much star players in their roles,
Mm-hmm.
bar Kirkes, without calling them out. Yeah, they're all top tier players.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure you're going to go on the out players, but I've already
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Darwin Núñez going out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just yeah crazy to me how much and also how much they can sell someone like Luis Diaz for. It's
Mm-hmm.
just mental.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I my overall grade, without going into too much detail, it's got to be an A plus. There's just no other. There's nothing that they've missed out. The only thing that they could have done better was get Gahey, but yeah,
I agree. I think I would knock it down to an A.
yeah,
The only thing is, my biggest doubt in the window, and maybe it's just early season jitters, but Florian Wirtz is my biggest concern of this window. It's a lot of money to pay for, I mean, definitely a wonder kid, but we were speaking about that transition from Bundesliga, especially for a role like his. Um, It'll be interesting to see. He's also displacing one of McAllister, Sobotzlai, and Gravenberch. I think all three of them were crucial to their title win last season, and he'll be replacing one of them. I also don't know how Isak and Ekitike fit in. I think
Yeah,
that's gonna be one of the most interesting plot points of the season. And just to touch upon your points on the transfers out, and I'll go through some of these fees because these are ridiculous. Darwin Nunez to 61 for 61 million, rising to 75 million with add-ons. What the hell?
yeah.
Luis Diaz for 88 million.
Hmm.
Harvey Elliott, I think, was 35. Uh, Kelleher for nearly 20 million is ridiculous. I think I actually saw a tweet today where someone was like, why didn't United go for Kelleher? And I was like, you know what? That's a great shout. Like,
Yeah.
I think dealing with Liverpool obviously is impossible, but I think Kelleher for and the number one position, if not a direct number one or competing at United, would be amazing. And Trent the traitor, Alexander Arnold, they did get 10 million for him because Madrid wanted him to play in the Club World Cup. But on your point of Isaac at least getting Newcastle 130 million, Trent getting Liverpool next to nothing, I think is a bit of a shame. So overall, I would go with an A, with
Fair
just the
enough.
with just words being the only asterisk, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to come in as a creative player to a new team. It's a bit easier when you're a more defensive player because that role's kind of set in stone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at like the centre backs and CDMs. Obviously, you need the partnerships, but
Mm-hmm.
I think coming in as a creative role, it's a bit more tough because you don't understand how players like to
Mm-hmm.
play yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just say give him time. I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree with the Isak thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think Ekitike was a fantastic transfer and kind of going out for Isak didn't really make a lot of sense for the fee, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, they wanted to do it. They've clearly seen something else, or they're going to play him somehow with Ekitike. So yeah, we'll see.
Biblical levels of greed, man. Biblical levels of greed.
Yeah,
Moving on to Manchester City. Transfers in Donnarumma and Tijani Reinders.
yeah,
Transfers out Manuel Akanji, Edison, Grealish, and Gundogan left for Barcelona, came back for another cheeky year, and he's gone again. He's
yeah.
gone to Galatasaray. I am rating this window a D.
Interesting.
I think
Um,
they got Trafford in as well, obviously, which I
yeah.
don't know why it didn't pull in. But overall, I would give it a D because I think it's played out in the fact that they lack athleticism, they lack robustness, they lack power in the midfield. I think even the forwards now lack that explosivity. They lack that dynamism which they had before. I think the brightest spots in their team is probably Haaland and Ruben Diaz. I would say Rodri when he's fit and Reinders after a hot start to the season has looked uh, kinda okay. Like definitely not to the level of his opening week. But essentially, I don't think they've addressed what they needed to. And I think year on year, they're leaving themselves lighter and lighter from a
Hmm.
physical perspective as well as from a squad depth perspective. And with City expecting they compete on four fronts, I don't think they've had a good window at all.
I think so. Also mentioning Ryan Cherky, who I think is a great
Yeah, Turkey as well.
transfer,
Mm-hmm.
and also Ait Nori.
Mm-hmm.
As another player who I think is really good in terms of
Mm-hmm.
being left back. The issue is just it's just the way it is. It's just injuries sometimes. Bringing in two keepers, I would
Mm-hmm.
call their window confused more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reinders I think is great. I think I wouldn't call it a steal because they paid like 55 million
Mm-hmm.
euros, but yeah, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go as harsh as a D. I probably go a C. I think it's like the minimum that they could have done
Mm-hmm.
in replacing some of the players that
Mm-hmm.
have either gone or gone on loan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they haven't, apart from maybe I don't know. Like for me, I'm looking at who's going out and who's replacing them. So Gundogan, Reinders, upgrade, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Donnarumma, Edison. Upgrade. Cool. But
Mm,
are you? I mean, I'd call him an upgrade considering where Edison is at the moment.
mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
and also
okay, I think that's fair.
eight Nori as well as a left back. They've been playing Ake out there. They've been
Mm-hmm.
playing. Oh God, I can't even remember who else they were playing. Nunes, wasn't it?
Zinchenko, they had
Oh
for
yeah,
Nunez is playing right back for them.
Zinchenko was playing for like City to
City
Arsenal, right?
back in the day, yeah, back in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like recently, they haven't had a real. They've been using like midfielders or
Oh,
wingers to
Guardiol,
play.
of course, they've been using
Yeah,
Guardiol there
Vardiol,
now.
exactly, and he's
Yeah,
a centre back. Like
yeah.
he's not a left back; he's a centre back,
Mm-hmm.
or a wide centre back, whatever you want to call it. But he's
Mm-hmm.
still a centre back. So getting in a proper left back, good. Obviously Kyle Walker leaving. That was the end of last season, technically,
Mm-hmm.
um, but he's still left. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, overall C. I don't want to dwell on City too much, but yeah, it's a shame to see where they are at the moment.
Not for me. I am loving it, mate, and I hope they stink out the gaff in the Etihad this weekend and we win 6-0. Uh, Speaking of Manchester United, we transfers in. We're looking at Benjamin Sesko. We're looking at Brian Mbumo. We're looking at Mateus Cunha, and we're looking at St. Lomans.
Say how much
And
they cost.
okay, so Sesko was around 75, Mbumo came in around 71, Cunha was 62, and Lamens ended up at 18 million. I think our net spend in the end was something like 130, 140. So really
Yeah,
not that bad at all. Speaking of, I think the main agenda for United this window was to get the bomb squad out, was to get the rot out, and releasing the likes of Lindelof and Ericsson on free transfers. I think is huge. I think United in eras gone by would just extend their contracts from a value perspective. Um, but yeah, seeing Sancho go out, amazing. Garnacho go out, shout out, thanks again. And I hope Chelsea do that thing where they can just turn a ridiculous profit on him because we've got a 10% buyback. So sorry, sell on clause, I should say. So if you sell him for a cool hundo, there'll be 10 million coming to us, which I would really appreciate. Anthony's gone to Betis again, a big one to go out the window. Hoyland is the only one I'm kind of sad about, but I hope he does well. Lindelof, as I already mentioned, and you forget about it because it was so early in the window. But Rashford to Barcelona was definitely another move that we needed to get done as well. So
yeah,
overall, I think we've addressed what we needed to in terms of the attack. We've gotten proven prem quality in Mbumo and Cunha. I think both of them have shone as well in the initial few weeks. Mbumo is definitely finding his shooting boots, and I hope Cunha's injury isn't too serious. We've touched on Lomans. I think him and Sheshko are the biggest variables. So overall, and how could I forget Andre Onana out to Trabzonspor? Um, Overall, especially with the priority being outgoings in mind, I would give this window a B. The only
yeah.
thing that's lacking for me is a midfielder. I think if we have would have gotten a midfielder, someone with the likes of Baleba, for example, I think it would have been an A, bordering on A plus.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you've done more than what quite a few clubs have done. You've addressed the areas that are needed. You
Mm-hmm.
haven't done all of them, but you've
Mm-hmm.
addressed some, and you've got rid of the players that essentially you're not playing or need more game time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd probably go a B as well for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a bit hesitant on the Shesko one, but other
Mm-hmm.
than that, and in Brumo actually, I don't know if he's worth 70 mil, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
Cunha's good. Getting rid of Garnacho, really good for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Anthony, Hoyland, and Lindelof all going. A bit sad to see Rashford leave
Yeah, me too,
to
actually.
Barca, but probably best for him at this stage in his career. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
overall a B. And then I'm just going to move on to the final team. We have Tottenham,
Tottenham.
Tottenham Hotspur, in unfortunately Xavi Simons,
Mm-hmm.
51 mil from
Mm.
Leipzig.
Good
That was
deal.
a
Good
Chelsea.
deal as well.
Yeah, it's a great deal. That was unfortunate for Chelsea, but hey, I that's where I thought, and even
Mm-hmm.
Fabrizio said he only wanted Chelsea, and yeah, he went to
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Colin Moani on loan. Kudos, 55 mil from West Ham. West Ham making an absolute killing recently.
Mm-hmm.
And then outs, you have a loan deal for Solomon, and then Heung-min Son as well, leaving. Me, I'd rate this probably maybe a C plus. It's not fantastic, but
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah. I think they need something a little bit more solid in there,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of complement Basuma and Sarr.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they didn't really hit on that. But hey,
I think I pretty much echo your thoughts. I would probably go with like a B minus, maybe not a C. I
yeah.
think a lot of that comes down to Javi Simmons, and I really rate Kudus as well. So I
Hmm.
think both of those bring what's required to the Spurs team. I think they were definitely missing the creative spark, and they couldn't rely on Madison as much, with especially with his injury this season. And he just does seem to get injured at the most inopportune moments
Yeah.
consistently. So it's good to get Simmons in. I think Kudus is going to do super, super well for them. We touched on Kolo Muani already, and I
Yeah.
think the deals they brought them in at are top deals. I think Simmons for 50 and Kudus for like 55. I think are very good rates, especially for the quality they can bring in. Shout out to Heung-min Son, man. He's been one of my
Yeah. What
favorite
what a
players.
career.
He's been one of my favorite players since he came into the league. When I used to play FIFA back in the day, he was my number one signing for United on the left wing every time. The man is an absolute legend of a human being and a footballer. And even though it was against us, I'm glad that he got to cap his time off at Spurs with a trophy. I think it was the perfect way to leave the club. And seeing the reception he's getting in the States is amazing to
Yeah.
see. Nothing less than what he deserves. So super happy for him.
And he scored his first goal
Yeah.
over there as
Mm-hmm.
well. I also
Mm-hmm.
saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really happy to see him do well. And yeah, he's given everything to Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's no bad blood there, but it's just a
Mm-hmm.
shame to see him well, I wouldn't say underperform, but obviously his he just kind of went a little bit since Harry Kane has left. Their
Mm-hmm.
link up play was just something else.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably two of the best when you're looking at partnerships in the
Oh,
Prem.
unreal, mate.
Over
Oh.
they were up there in terms of the best partnership in the Prem when you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at forwards
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. So yeah, congrats to him. Hope he does well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, cool. I think that's it for our transfer news.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go through our predictions and reviews of predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll
Brother.
wrap up the pod with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we're kind of going over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we have said that we will do our predictions just to kind of reiterate how this will work.
Mm-hmm.
We both give our predictions in terms of who we think is going to win, and this is for every game that happens over that match week. And we will also assign a score for those games. So, for instance, if I were to say 2-0 to Chelsea over a competitor like Fulham, and Chelsea win 1-0, I'd score 1 point. If they win 2-0, I would score 3 points. So I'd get 1 point for the actual fixture, and I'd get 2 points for the result. Overall, adding up to 3 points. Makes things a little bit more interesting. And yeah, we'll get into the results, and I'll read them out one by one. Is that
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Let's do it.
Cool. So Chelsea Fulham. What happened was 2-0, as I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I went with a 3-0, and
Mm-hmm.
you went with a 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, our points are 1-1 at the moment. Went to Man United Burnley,
Mm-hmm.
3-2 is the
Mm-hmm.
final result. You went with
Mm-hmm.
2-1, and
Yes.
I went with 2-all. So at this point, you're up 2-1 in terms of our points.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, gaining that point, whereas I went for the draw.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of next game, we had Sunderland and Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
Sunderland won 2-1. I
Mm-hmm.
actually predicted 2-1, which I'm
Nice. I
very
mean,
happy
no,
for.
boo, boo.
Yeah, boo. You went for a draw. You went 1-1. So
I did.
not only did
Mm-hmm.
you not get the match point, you didn't get the correct score. So I actually jump up to 4-2 ahead of you now,
Mm-hmm.
getting all 3 points across that fixture.
That was a big one
Um,
for you, to be fair. That was
yeah,
a big one.
yeah, it really
Mm-hmm.
was. Oh, my voice is going. Yeah, it was. um, yeah, I'm really rooting for Sunderland this year, so
Mm-hmm. Me
I'll
too, mate. Me
definitely
too.
definitely be siding in their favour.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, we had Leeds and Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
You predicted 3-1 to Newcastle. I predicted 3-2 to Leeds.
Mm.
Um, it actually ended 0-0.
Yay.
um, so yeah, to be fair, not too far off.
Yeah, not too far off.
In terms of how many goals we went for. So yeah, overall the score's still the same, 4-2 for me. Spurs and Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
I predicted 3-1 to Spurs. You predicted
Mm-hmm.
2-0 to Spurs. Bournemouth ended up winning this game 1-0. Something
Iraola
we
keeps working his magic, man. He's such a good coach. He is
Yeah,
such a good coach.
it's I thought it was gonna run out after all of the kind of, I don't know,
They
transfers
lost
out,
their
I
whole
guess.
back line, mate. They lost
Yeah,
their whole
exactly.
back line.
I
It's
thought I
crazy.
thought they were gonna lose something, but no, he's carrying on doing it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good on him. Yeah, so score stays the same. We didn't get any results there. Next game we had Wolves and Everton. You predicted a 2-1 to Everton, and I predicted a 2-0 to Everton. They actually ended up winning 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
So we both get a point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently in the lead still at 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a controversial game, Brighton and Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I predicted a 4-0 thrashing from City, and you predicted a 3-1.
Mm,
Brighton ended up winning this game
mm,
2-1. I didn't actually catch it, but I can tell that City are in a bit of a rut at the moment. I think that's fair
mm-hmm.
to say. Um, yeah, not the best from them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, still same scores, 5-3 to me. And then the game that made me laugh, Nottingham Forest and West Ham.
This was
Um,
horrific from both of us. I think I'm gonna get clipped up for sure, based off
yeah,
what
for
I
sure.
said. But your prediction is worse. So I
My
think we've
yeah,
just had a mare overall on this one.
I mean, I called West Ham relegation candidates, which I still
Yeah.
stand by. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
very honest, but you went on to a bit of a monologue around
I
how
did.
it
Oh my
was the easiest win that Forest could ever have. They ended up losing 3-0. You went 3-0, but you went the wrong way 3-0.
I did, yeah. Wonder what
I
you
went
went for, James. Hmm.
I went 4-0, but I
Oh.
with an asterisk, I didn't go on a monologue.
Yeah,
So
this is true. Yeah.
it's still 5-3. And then final game of the game week, Liverpool Arsenal, 1-0 to Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I went with 3-1 Arsenal. I also had the horrendous prediction that Martinelli was going to have a great game. He did not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and you actually got the point for the result. You went 3-1 to
Get
Liverpool
it.
instead. So
Mm-hmm.
we end up at 5-4 as our total scores for this week and our current scores up to date. So I am currently in the lead by 1 point.
Pulled it back in the end. Man, it was
Yeah,
looking a bit touch and go there, especially
it
with that result point,
it,
with those result points for you.
it definitely did. It definitely did.
Oof.
Um, but yeah, to be fair, not as far as our man versus machine
Oh
FPL,
man.
but
Oh, thank God.
but
We have some ball knowledge at least, just a little bit.
yeah, it's
Just a
just
little bit.
just just a touch.
Just
I
a
think
little bit.
I think a good. I think 5 points/4 points is a good result from how many
Yeah, not
games? One,
bad.
two,
Not bad.
three,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So about half, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Going on to these matches
Mm-hmm.
for this week coming up, we'll do a very quick prediction rundown.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with Arsenal and Forest.
Mm-hmm.
You start.
Me first. Interesting. I think Arsenal are going to be typically boring. at the Emirates. Like I was saying on the last week's podcast, actually, Forest not having the best time of it, a lot of turmoil internally, and I think that is reflecting on the pitch. I think the transfer business has also hurt them a bit, especially losing the likes of Alanga. So I think
Hmm.
let's go 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Interesting. I'm going to go 3-all.
Ooh, whoa,
Yeah, I'm going to go
interesting.
for a draw. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-all. I'll yeah, it's tough. It's one of those games where it really could be anything, but it should technically be Arsenal, but I think it's going to be a slip-up game. I think Forest are good enough to have that kind of I don't know, protection against them. They're good
Mm,
at scoring, but yeah, we'll see.
mm-hmm,
We'll see what goes. Yeah, let's quick fire through the rest,
mm-hmm.
unless we have a big game on hand. So Bournemouth and Brighton. I'll
Um,
start
yes,
actually
go.
because you went first last time.
Yeah,
I
go on.
think Bournemouth are going to win this quite comfortably. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
3-0.
Interesting. Bournemouth at home. I think
Yeah,
Iraola will keep it going. Let's go 2-1.
nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Palace and Sunderland. You
Mm-hmm.
first.
I think Sunderland have a down week. Let's go 3-1 to the Palace. Hopefully, Sa scores.
Ooh,
I need the points.
ooh. I'm actually going to agree with you. I think it's going to be three
Ooh,
one.
nice.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
Sunderland's become my second team, but for some
Mm-hmm.
reason, I see Palace doing really well. I
Mm-hmm.
think Gay's got a point to prove.
Mm-hmm.
3-1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Villa Everton.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going first this go,
You
if
first
I'm not
this time.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm. You first
Um,
this time.
I'm going to be controversial here. I'm gonna say 0-0. Yeah, I'm gonna
Ooh,
go 0-0.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be 2-0 to Everton. I think they keep it going.
nice,
I don't know
nice.
if
Yeah.
Grealish gets 2 assists again,
Hmm.
but and I think I got better win for this week. So yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a
Do
2-0. I'll take a better
do
goal.
do I get an extra point if I predict a red card in this match?
Yeah, why not? Let's go. Why
I
not?
think Villa, Grealish, Everton.
Ooh.
It spells some sort
Mm-hmm.
of red card for me in my head,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I'm going for.
Interesting. So you're
What
going,
was
wait,
your
so who's
prediction?
the red card for? Who's the red card for?
I think the red card is going to go to Villa. I think it's going to be like a Digne or um, their CDM. I forgot Abubakar. No, Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara,
It,
Boubacar
yeah,
Kamara. Yeah.
yeah. I think him.
Yeah,
We'll
fair
see.
enough. Yeah,
If that
yeah.
happens, I
Let's see.
want 10 points. If that
No,
happens, I
no.
want 10 points.
I was thinking even a point is generous because you're
Okay.
not specifying the
Yeah,
player.
yeah, true.
But
I did.
let's go one. Let's go a point. Let's go a
Okay,
point.
okay.
Let's
I
go a point.
mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, what was your prediction?
I went 2-0 to
2
Everton.
0 2-0.
Yeah.
Nice. You first this time. So Fulham leads.
Fulham leads. I think Fulham got done so dirty on that VAR call. One of the most atrocious decisions I've seen this season, and that's saying something because there have been some absolute howlers.
It hit his hand.
Leeds
Don't
just
worry
came
about
up as well. So let's go. I back Paco Silva. Let's go 3-1.
I'm gonna go 2-1 leads.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They're really backing Leeds
yeah,
week on week,
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
they?
I
Mm-hmm.
like Leeds. Um, Newcastle Wolves. I will
You go first.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Tough. Wolves are so bad though.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want. I don't think Newcastle's going to do well, but at the same time, they're playing probably the best opponent that they could play at the moment. Well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe West Ham. Um, I'll go 2-0 Newcastle. I think that's pretty safe.
I think the strikers hit the ground running. I'm gonna go 3-0 Newcastle.
Nice, nice.
Hmm.
West Ham Spurs.
London Derby.
Yeah, the boring one.
Is it me first this time? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
West Ham did well last week. Spurs would be looking to get some get back. Let's go 1-all. I'm gonna go for a draw.
3-1 Spurs. And
Ooh, interesting.
I
Okay.
don't think I think the one's going to be like an own goal or something.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, yeah, I
You can
can't.
definitely have a point for that if they score a goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the actual London derby, the West
Hmm.
London
The
derby,
West
Brentford
London
Chelsea.
derby. Hmm.
I think Chelsea's gonna. Do you know what? Every time we've played Brentford, and my first ever game I saw Chelsea at Chelsea Stadium, Stamford Bridge, we lost 2-0 to Brentford. I
Oof.
watched them again the next season, and we drew to Brentford. We have really bad luck against Brentford, but I'm gonna go 2-0 Chelsea.
Oh, I think Chelsea do them pretty solid. I think 3-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I will say Brentford are pretty much one of the only bogey teams that we have. It's
Mm.
very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see. Um, Penultimate fixture on the Sunday, we have
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool and Burnley. You
Mm-hmm.
to go first.
I will go. I'll do a James here. 4-0 Liverpool.
I thought you were going to say 4-0 Burnley.
The 4-0
That's a
Liverpool.
real James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll go 3-1 Liverpool.
Interesting.
And then final game, probably the most exciting game, is City and United. Now I will go first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna back United. Oh, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna say United 4-2.
Do you know
Yeah,
what?
I know.
I'm not far off at all actually.
Yeah. I've
If
got flashbacks to last season, and that's literally all it was. Is the Amad Diallo goal in the
Oh,
FA
what a
Cup or
goal,
whatever it
man.
was.
What
I
a
just
goal. What? No,
and
that was
then
in the
the
league as well. That was in the league, yeah.
was it Casemiro or was it Rashford who hit the bar and went in for the first goal? I can't remember. Could have been Rashford actually. This might have been 2 seasons ago.
Oh
He
no, that was
shot from.
Rashford like 2 or 3 seasons ago, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
I
goal you're
also remember
talking
that
about.
goal. Like genuinely, you just perform against
We pull it
rival
out to be
clubs.
fair. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I will say 4-2.
As I was saying, not too far off of you as well. I think if we were more prolific at the start of the season, I would be tempted to go with something like a 4-1. But I will go with a 3-2. I think United, as
Yeah.
usual, will make it tougher than they need to, honestly.
So you're saying United 3-2.
Yeah, United went 3-2.
Okay.
Of
I'm just
course,
confirming.
mate. Come on.
I'm
Yeah.
confirming.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, that rounds up our match week 4 and also wraps up our podcast. So we will call it quits there. But just quickly, shout out to everyone who's currently listening and has listened for the first couple of weeks. Really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. Please, obviously, leave any feedback either to us directly or through comments.
Mm-hmm.
Across all of our socials, you'll find us on Spotify, find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're across all of it. Let us know if there's any segments that you want or any particular shout outs
Mm-hmm.
across your favorite teams. But otherwise, really appreciate you. And yeah, that's it from us at Pitch Please. That's it from me, James.
And me, Aman, like, comment, share, subscribe, please. We need a thank you. Bye.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. All right. Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.